Well, scattered rain is not over yet. We're still in an active weather pattern, but some big changes are on the way, including a whole lot of sunshine, a dip in temperatures, then a warming trend with just a light breeze. All of that before we even hit this weekend, and that's going to be after today's showers wrap up overnight. Hey everyone, I'm Darrell Winninger, Chief Meteorologist at Central Oregon Daily News. We are about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast, talk about some of these changes that have already been happening, what comes next, and how this next transition is really going to impact our forecast through the rest of this week, and then this weekend it changes up again just like that. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Looking across the high desert, we do have a whole lot of cloud cover. In fact, there are very few cameras across Central Oregon that show any clearing at all. We have been getting some breaks between showers, but precipitation is still with us. It's not done just yet, and even when we go ahead and just look forward a glimpse through the next 3 days, the winter storm impact graphic does show that some limited impacts are expected, but not until you hit the highest elevations. We're talking through the passes. So just to add on a little bit more to this very mild winter that we've been having, we are still going to be getting wet. It's just not the snow that we need, especially not even in the highest elevation. So as we go through the next couple of days, we start that next transition into more sunshine and very mild on the high desert. So right now, our roads are wet for many of us across Central Oregon, and these showers are still pushing through. Now, even when we go ahead and look in the highest elevations, in the Cascades, what we're seeing is mostly wet roads. Now, temperatures tonight in the Cascades are going to be falling back below freezing. Where we have wet roads and then we fall below freezing and road temperatures get below freezing, that's where we're looking at some slick roads. Even by then, we are still expecting the snow levels to be falling tonight, and a transition from rain to snow is expected. But look at this. It's been a huge split in what we've been seeing across Central Oregon, or really through the Cascades, I should say. Across Central Oregon, it's mostly been rain. Now, as of 3 p.m., that was the last time I checked these numbers, we've had a range of plus 10 inches at Bachelor, minus 2 inches at Hoodoo, plus 13 inches at Timberline, and just 2 inches at Meadows. Now, the actual snow depth hasn't changed much except for that minus 2 out at Hoodoo. But we did jump up from yesterday. We had 43 inches at Bachelor. Today we have 52. Yesterday we had 69 inches at Timberline. Today we have 75. So in some locations it has really jumped up. But at Meadows we had 65 inches yesterday. We have 65 inches today. We've gotten 2 inches, but 2 inches have also melted. Now going forward through tonight, we see that shift in our weather pattern that I was talking about. It's actually coming twofold. The first shift in our weather pattern is on the backside of a fizzling cold front. Our snow levels start to drop. So there's a chance for some snow in the highest elevations. Not much. At this point, forecast models are pointing at less than an inch. And then we're starting the day tomorrow with clouds followed by clearing. That's the big transition. That's the transition that leaves us under tons of sunshine by the time we're wrapping up hump day of this week. And so that's Wednesday's powder prognosis. Actually, let me go back real quick because it also shows that temperatures tomorrow are only getting up to freezing at Hoodoo. So if there is any ice accumulation or snow accumulation, it looks like it should be holding pretty strong through the next 24 hours if and where we get it. Now by tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. most of our roads are just wet. You see that green down the 97 corridor all the way up the 20 corridor until you get past Black Butte Ranch, closer to Camp Sherman. A little bit of snow on the ground it looks like, but for many locations there's also pink or red. That's where we have the potential for some icing. So that means some slick roads are going to be possible by tomorrow morning. Then through the day tomorrow, at a glance, we're looking at some lingering flurries by 7 a.m., clearing through the midday, and more sunshine by the afternoon. Notice the strong dip in temperatures as well. Today, we topped out in the 50s with some 40s. By tomorrow, we're topping out in the 40s. A few 50s are going to be possible, but for the most part, it does look like we're just going to be cooling down. Sorry, I hit the wrong button, went backwards a little bit. Now we'll keep going forward. So far, there are not any weather alerts in effect for Central Oregon. In and around our Tri-County area is really alert free. We just have some showers that are already starting to impact us or continuing to impact us, I should say. What is starting is the snow level is already starting to fall, but it's really going to be a gradual drop in the snow level until we get to later tonight. So currently there's some wintry mix in the highest elevations, rainy and snow, but keep in mind through the last 24 hours through the passes we've mostly gotten snow. That yet this time yesterday I was telling you that there was a 3,500 or pardon me 5,300 to 5,500 range of where that snow level was going to get up to during the overnight hours and through the day today. And above that 5,500 marker is where we're mostly getting snow. In fact, Bachelor, the base of Bachelor, where that snow stake is almost 6,300 feet. And so what that means for us is that Bachelor was getting snow. And they got snow. They got 10 plus inches of snow. But the lower elevations, including all the passes, not so much. Our highest pass is, Willamette Pass is 5,100 feet. Diamond Lake Junction is a mile high. Yeah, so we do have all of our passes stayed below that snow level last night and today, and as of right now it's starting to come down, but it's going to be a slow transition, and we got a whole lot of clouds. In fact, this whole system is beginning to fizzle out. Now that cold front already passing through Central Oregon will start to get the effects after that, but it's really going to shape up to be a chilly night after we start to see some clearing, which hasn't started just yet, but it is on the way. Now, looking at the bigger picture, what I was just showing you is a blend of satellite and infrared imagery as well as radar. Currently, we're looking at infrared imagery. I threw an enhancement on there to really pull out those tall clouds, and that's important because of what we're actually seeing. So let's start off with the bigger picture. Number one, we have that cold front that's fizzling out, draped across the state, almost like a seatbelt, just covering us up. But when we look out over the Pacific Ocean, we do have another high pressure that is continuing to develop, and you can actually see that clockwise rotation that's very gradual out over the Pacific Ocean. Now, this is not a broad ridge of high pressure. This is a weak and transient ridge of high pressure, so it will be impacting us, just not for long. In fact, there is another low pressure just southwest of that high pressure, but I want to focus on the moisture stream. The plume of moisture that's coming up into the Pacific Northwest goes all the way down to the tropics. So this is we call it a couple different things. Number one, it is an atmospheric river. Number two, it's also a Pineapple Express because it's coming down from the tropical latitudes, south actually, of Hawaii, just not from Hawaii directly. That was actually yesterday is when we saw that. So we do have an atmospheric river of moisture that's going to continue to impact us through tonight. Later tonight, that's when this wraps up. That's when this whole system moves out of the air, and it's going to be a gradual clearing, some of which has already started right now. You can see that extremely dry air mass from Portland going all the way up to Vancouver Island, and that huge area of dry air that's going to come over Central Oregon through the overnight hours. So it is something we're continuing to track, but for the most part, we're going to get some clearing. That clearing leads to sunshine. So we do have still a chance of some showers through the rest of this evening and tonight. But tonight we see a transition from rain to snow in the highest elevations to some snow showers in our lower elevations. And watch this. After 7 a.m., this freeze frame is at 7 a.m. and at that point still partly cloudy. Then bam, sunshine. By the time we get to Wednesday night going into Thursday morning, some pockets of fog are going to be possible. But notice how there's a stretching of that in my voice. I do think some pockets of fog are going to be possible. Where it happens, it'll be freezing fog. It's just not going to be widespread. Then we're back to more sunshine through the day Thursday. And then by the time we get to the end of the week, our warming trend really takes shape. So as of right now, we have a very high humidity values, almost a saturated column, but there's rain pushing through. And that is right on target with what should be happening. Meanwhile, temperatures are high temperatures in the last 24 hours, ranging between 43 degrees in Sun River to 52 in Redmond and Prineville. Also got to 51 in Paulina and 50 in Bend. As of right now, some of those high temperatures are still on the map, and we have 40s through the rest of Central Oregon. So as of right now, we're actually running between 2 degrees warmer and 4 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago. And that cool down for most of the high desert is definitely going to be evident, especially as we get further through the overnight hours. In fact, we're falling all the way back down to near and below freezing. And then by tomorrow, 40s. That's our dip in temperature. So we're going to take a step back, look at a different forecast model. This one actually focuses on geopotential heights. Geopotential heights really help us understand where the high pressure is, where the low pressure is, what's happening next. And so I'm actually going to pause this real quick and zoom out. we have high pressure over California and one way out over the Pacific Ocean south of the Aleutian Islands. So let's go ahead and get into this. Through the overnight hours, all of that shower activity fizzles out. By tomorrow, we're actually going to be having AM flurries clearing, PM sunshine, winds getting breezy at times, highs in the 40s. Then fast forward, and that's when we're actually looking at more sunshine Thursday, mixed with some clouds, and the warming trend sets up. Highs in the 40s with some 50s. And then by Friday, more 50s than anything. Highs well into the 50s, still firmly under this broad ridge of high pressure. And so as we go forward, we are looking at our next warming trend, but ultimately here through the next 24 hours, we get a dip in temperatures. And going forward past that, all the way through Friday, more rain is expected, not much in the way of snow. We're going to get to some of those totals in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and focus on this temperature trend because roller coaster temperatures are expected. Tomorrow's a dip in temperatures. Then we get a warm up through Friday. It starts to cool down Saturday and Sunday. That cool down is because of our next system, which will bring some precipitation. So let's go ahead and look at our forecast model. This one is a little bit different than the high resolution forecast model I was showing you earlier, but it goes quite a bit further. And so here through the overnight hours, we get those scattered showers, rain becoming snow, snow fizzling out, then clearing through the day. By 4 p.m., mostly sunny, partly cloudy for a few spots on the map. Thursday brings the sunshine with some in and out clouds. And by Friday, again, a mixture of sunshine and clouds and much more mild. Saturday, we get a hint of some of those showers, especially later in the day. More showers are expected. And then even more rain is in the forecast as we go through Thursday. So we're going to switch gears, look at a different forecast model just to compare and see if there's any timing issues that we might be seeing. Really, we see more sunshine through the day Wednesday. By Thursday, sun cloud mix. This one actually shows more PM clouds by Thursday and more in and out clouds expected on Friday as well. And then Saturday we catch those showers. So it's pretty much matching what the other one shows. Just showers coming in earlier on Saturday, and then we start to see some clearing on Sunday. By Monday and Tuesday, back under a broad ridge of high pressure for a little bit. That is going to slow down our next system, which starts to roll in this time next week. So between now and 7 a.m. Wednesday, we are looking at showers with a little bit of snow in the highest elevations. That's mostly happening tonight. And then all the way through Thursday, we're staying dry. Then by Friday, that's when we start to see a shift in our weather pattern. More clouds roll into the high desert. Saturday and Sunday, we get those snow showers. So we're going to actually back this up and take this a little bit slower. And I am going to put in something else real quick for you. Got plenty of time. But here through the overnight hours, we are looking at that chance of some snow showers early in the morning, but really all the way through Friday night going into Saturday, we're dry. Then we start to see those showers on Saturday. By Sunday, we're starting to see some snow. It doesn't look like much, but a few spots could have to break out the snow shovel. Meanwhile, today, it's been gusty at times, with gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour for many of us across the high desert. Currently, those actual winds are between 5 and 15 miles per hour. Many of us actually 10 to 20 mile per hour winds, just not quite everybody. Tonight, that starts to taper off. We get back down to a gentle breeze with a light breeze Wednesday, and then by the time we get to Thursday, we're still looking at a light breeze. Could become breezy at times, but it's not going to be too significant when it comes to that a bump in wind speeds. But altogether, really, we're getting into a calmer weather pattern starting tomorrow morning once we really begin to see that clearing. So for tonight, rain and snow showers, 30s and some 20s. By tomorrow, we are talking 40s, and our 7-day planner shows roller coaster temperatures, another system Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures back down below freezing for a couple of nights, but with that next warming trend, our lows warm up to near freezing, and we could be expecting some snow Saturday and Sunday before our next warming trend that brings us back into the 60s. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News with the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. I will have all of that and more tonight on Central Oregon Daily News.